Oh, they're dirty. Oh, does that sound cringe only to me? So, when thinking about the job of a cabin crew, you're probably imagining just visiting exotic destinations and walking through the airport with your nice and glamorous uniform and just generally being paid to travel the world. And while some distorted version of these scenarios is true for some cabin crew, you don't see what goes behind the scenes. All the trainings, medical checks, exams, all the sleepless nights the flight attendants have to go through and endure in order to get their wings and start a career in the skies. Oh, they're dirty. Oh, brilliant. So, I'm Meg from MegsWanderings. I'm a travel content creator and a flight attendant, and today I'm going to be telling you some secrets from my mysterious job, yes! She's so cute, I can't handle it, but she has this psycho, like, look at this psycho face. Look at, why do you look like a psycho? So, starting off, we are responsible for every single life on board. We're trained to deal with people choking, people fainting, people getting heart attacks, seizures, being on fire, surviving decompression, as well as dealing with abusive, drunk, disruptive, rude, and offensive people. It kind of looks like a waitress job on the outside, and then you start peeling it, and it turns out it has nothing to do with that, and there's a lot more to it. So because of the unfavorable conditions we have to work in, flight attendants are a lot more prone to an array of diseases and medical conditions due to, for example, the low air humidity, cosmic radiation, pressure differences, hundreds and thousands of potentially sick passengers. You get the idea. Just a fun little fact, the humidity of the air in the cabin is around 10% usually. And guess how much the humidity is in the Sahara Desert? It's 23%. We are trained to deal with fires, and it's actually a very big part of the training, as you can imagine a fire erupting at 35,000 feet above the ground is quite dangerous. I was personally trained by extinguishing actual fires in different places of a plane mock-up. We also have survivor trainings in which we learn how to survive in different conditions at every temperature, how to build shelters, science for search and rescue teams, how to use location transmitters, and so on. We only get paid when we're in the air. So if I have a morning flight, let's say to Rome, I have to wake up around 2 a.m. for a flight that takes off at 5:30, put full glam makeup on, do my hair, eat and travel to work for about 40 minutes to an hour. Then the briefing starts 70 minutes prior to standard time of departure. Yeah, I go for boarding, for which I'm not being paid, and if there's a technical problem and the plane can't take off, I won't be paid anything, even though I've been woken up at 2 a.m. and have been preparing myself for that flight for 3.5 hours already. So the duty ends 20 minutes after landing, but you're always on the plane for longer than that. Then I have another hour to get to Vienna, as the airport is not in the city. I have to buy my own ticket. I only have transport at limited times. My duty officially ends around 11:30 if there's no delay, and if there is a delay, that usually doesn't get me more money. So for preparation and going to work, I've spent 9.5 hours, and yet I'll be paid for only 2 short sectors. Short sector is less than like 2 hours. So basically I'm being paid for 4 hours of work instead of 9:30. Another interesting secret, it's not a secret, it's just how we work, but many airlines do have airport standby, which basically means that you have to put your uniform on, do your makeup, do your hair, get your suitcase, go to the airport and hang around there for about 6 hours or so that, you know, if another flight attendant gets suddenly sick or they run out of flying hours, you can just hop in and do their flights instead of them. Most of the times, flight attendants meet their colleagues with which they'll be working on the flight prior to the flight. It's true that we rarely fly with the same people. If it's a very big carrier, then you might absolutely never see those people again. If it's a small base or it's a small airline, of course it's a different story, but most of the times you fly with different people all the time, and very often you just meet them in the briefing room right before you have to go for takeoff. Obviously, we do know how to open the lavatory doors from the outside, so just keep that in mind the next time you want to be a proud member of the Mile High Club. Weight requirements are a big thing in this job, so if you weigh less or more than you're supposed to, according to your height on the BMI chart, you're probably not going to be considered for the job at all. Onboard meals are disgusting, deep frozen, and most flight attendants would never touch them with a 10-foot pole. Same goes for the water on board. Tap water on an aircraft is disgusting, and it's highly unlikely that you'll ever see a crew member drinking tap water on the aircraft. Another one of our secrets is that we just can't handle 9 to 5. None of us can, you know? There are so many people from different walks of life. You have ex-lawyers, nurses, IT people, but they all have something in common, being the fact that they cannot and do not want to do a 9 to 5 job Monday to Friday, and this is why they've chose this path. We are not actually allowed to lift passengers' bags, partly because why should we? I mean, it's a health hazard, you can injure yourself, but also because if something happens to the bag, they can always blame you. So we are judging you from the moment you set foot on board, and I've discussed this, I've touched on this in a previous video, I'm gonna link it in the description. But another thing we judge is your overall health. Are you drunk? Could you be potentially disruptive? Or can we use you as an AVP? And with that, I'm gonna leave it with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it informative or entertaining in any way, shape, or form, don't hesitate to give it a like. If you have questions, comments, you agree or you disagree, there's a comment section down below. And if you want to learn more about traveling, aviation, and other just random topics I like to talk about, you can subscribe to the channel, as it's going to help me create more content like this. Over and out.